A woman became pregnant while pregnant with someone else's baby. Can it happen? Yes. Has it happened? Yes. Let's look into it and talk about it. This is superfetation. Superfetation is when you can carry 2 pregnancies. The egg is released, and then when that has been fertilised, another egg is released. Is it rare? Yes, very. And has it happened? Yes, and we're going to talk about it.
Now to our GMA cover story, a mother's battle for her baby. Now listen to this, a woman who offered to be a surrogate, giving birth to 2 babies, then discovering one of them was actually her biological child. We first saw the story in the New York Post, and Lindsay Davis is here with this incredible story, Lindsay.
It really sounds surreal, right? And good morning to you guys. We're talking about 2 babies in the same womb, and both have 2 completely different sets of parents. One of the babies is Asian, and the other is half white and half black. They are even slightly different ages. You're about to hear from a woman who agreed to be a surrogate. She became pregnant with one baby as a result of IVF, and then managed to become pregnant naturally with another baby at the same time.
Okay, so as I've mentioned, superfetation is when the body naturally releases an egg, and then that egg is fertilised, and then another egg is released. Now, this is super rare. In surrogacy, however, the process, while still technically the same, there has been an embryo transfer. That is a process that many and all doctors will advise surrogates and intended parents that whilst a surrogate is going through this process, there's a requirement to abstain from having any sexual intercourse. And this is because the surrogate is potentially on some hormones, will be super fertile, and it's really important that we don't compromise the pregnancy by a second pregnancy occurring, which is what is happening here. Let's get back to it.
For Jessica Allen and her husband Wardell Jasper, there is no greater blessing than their children. After 2 healthy pregnancies, the California couple decided to pay it forward, and Jessica signed up to be a surrogate.
No woman in the world should have to live their life without experiencing the love and the bond from a mother and a child.
Jessica was matched with a couple, and in April of 2016, she says one of their embryos was successfully implanted into her uterus. 6 weeks into the pregnancy, she says her doctor noticed something rather unexpected.
He goes, well, I definitely see that there's another baby. The chance of embryo splitting is very small, but it does happen. And, I just thought, I was very surprised.
Jessica delivered what she believed to be identical twin boys via C-section. She says she never got to see them in person, but was shown a photo.
I did notice, one was much lighter than the other. Obviously they were not identical twins.
1 month later, some shocking news. She says a DNA test confirmed the second baby was not a twin to the implanted embryo, but actually Jessica and her husband's biological son.
And that is devastating. That is super sad. It's sad on all sides and all counts, not least of all for that child that is with the intended parents thinking they have twins, and then realising that that child does not share any genetics with that family, and was as a result of this particular surrogate not going through a period of abstinence whilst going through IVF. And that tends to that is how this would have happened, that she would have been leading up to an embryo transfer and maybe had sexual intercourse and conceived whilst carrying an embryo. And this is quite sad. I think it's a really unfortunate case for the surrogate that gave birth to then have lost that period of time with her genetic child. I think that's really sad. And then how devastating for the parents, intended parents of what they thought they had twins, to now be having a singleton that was always the case. Yeah, really sad.
It's called superfetation, and while rare, it occurs when a woman continues to ovulate after becoming pregnant, resulting in 2 babies with different gestational ages, and in this case, 2 different sets of genetic parents.
I didn't even know I was pregnant with you. I carried my own child. I didn't know he was mine.
Jessica says after a complicated process, she and Wardell got custody of their son in February. Now 10 months old, they say he's the piece that completes their family puzzle.
And the concept of superfetation, essentially becoming pregnant while pregnant, is not all that rare in certain animals, but in humans it's said to be so unusual we're talking 1 in several million pregnancies. And Rama, this is the kind of thing Maury Povich would have a field day with, right? Like, yes. You are not the father, but you are the father of this one.
That's true. Thank you, Lindsay. And our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jennifer Ashton, is here. What?
I know. This is incredibly rare. It's so rare there are, in fact, maybe 11 case reports in the world literature.
Yeah, and that's again something to stress how rare this is. I was doing some research myself just before this, and we're talking sort of less than 12 cases ever recorded of this. There is a reason why obstetricians and fertility professionals will say, please, please, please do not have sexual intercourse before or just after the embryo transfer, because you're going to be so fertile. And if you look at some of the membership benefits that My Surrogacy Journey offer, one of the membership benefits that we offer surrogates has been an Ann Summers gift card or a Love Honey gift card, so the surrogate and their spouse or partner can still be intimate together without risking a pregnancy and putting something like this at risk. That's why we offered that particular membership benefit. So, surrogates have partners and want to be intimate. Let's not be sex shaming these women and people. That's why we offered one of those particular benefits. And surrogates really were appreciative of it. And when we did a round table with a number of surrogates, the absence period was often something that no one spoke about, and it's really important to address. And by us offering that particular benefit, we believe it's further adding some protection to avoid things like this happening. But yeah, really rare, but there's a reason why your doctor or a doctor will be saying, please don't have sex. Or certainly not unprotected sex whilst you're getting ready for an embryo transfer and just after.
Most OBGYNs, myself included, will never see it. Most people haven't even heard of it. It has nothing to do with in vitro.
She's got a beautiful family, by the way. Breaks my little heart that this boy has not been with them.
Fertilization. That just happened to be a coincidence in this case. So really, I want people to know that you have better chance of being struck by lightning or winning the lottery than having this happen to you if you're a woman with a uterus.
So remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. If you have liked what you've seen, let us know in the comments, and remember, please be kind. This is a really sensitive topic. Be kind to all of those people watching and commenting below. We'll see you in the next one.